Okay, so let's talk about what upcycling is. So it comes from a business context, and it's also known as creative reuse. So the idea is that you don't get rid of everything and start again. You continue to utilize the stuff that you've already got in a recycling way. So upcycling and recycling are kind of similar. The idea with upcycling is that you build up on top of what you already have. So in the Amazy context, what that means for us is often web development. So in a web development case where we've got a client running an older piece of software such as Drupal 7, we're now moved on to Drupal 8, there's often this conflict of, do we spend a whole bunch of money rebuilding everything in Drupal 8? Or can we still get a little bit more value out of our Drupal 7 installation? And this could count for WordPress sites, it could count for Laravel sites, and count for pretty much anything in the technology sector. So what we do is ask ourselves, what can we do utilizing the existing infrastructure to give the client a bit more value and a bit more time with their existing investment? So really, at its foundation, upcycling is a return on investment strategy. It's a way of trying to get a little bit more return on the investment that you've already made. So at Amazy Labs, what we do is we start with an analysis session and we say, let's look at what we have and start with a mindset of reuse rather than a mindset of tear it all down and start again. Once we've done an analysis and we know what we've got, we look to define an approach with the customer. That's often in a workshop where we'll say, okay, let's think about the pieces of the site or the pieces of your digital content that we can still use, and how we would actually how we would go about utilizing that. As a third step, we would say, cool, let's look at individual improvements. So, very simple example, perhaps the site itself still speaks quite well to the audience, everything is good, it just needs to be modernized. Maybe we would add a big slider at the top, or maybe we would, kind of freshen the content up a little bit, alter the design a bit. The key is that we would do that in very small incremental improvements. The important step with upcycling is to measure those results so that you know that these investments that you've made, these small investments that you've made, continue to actually give you further return on investment, because at some point you reach an inflection where you basically have to say, we've invested to the point now where we have to do a big upgrade. We need a strategic rethink. And at that point, you're stepping out of the upcycling domain and essentially into a creative project.